kelmcdonald.com.
Hang on. Now I have audio. Hey everybody, I'm Alina Pete. I make comics you can find at alinapete.com or weargeek.com. And
Huzzah!
I have audio
Uh,
now, so we're doing great.
yeah, and I have someone in my chat, Chuckles Pop, saying nice selfie. Yes, little wolf me drawing is my
Heck yeah.
starting soon
Heck yeah.
picture.
Oh yeah, I gotta do my normal starting sketch here. Give me a second. I jumped right into my work. I gotta draw us as something ridiculous. What are you feeling this week? I've been watching a lot of
Um,
Pirates, but I think I did Pirates last week.
yeah, were they gay
They
pirates
were very
that
gay pirates who were also idiots, and I love them.
yes, good. I say I've been in a musical mood. Is there a way that we can get musicals involved in
Oh
this
yeah, hell yeah.
drawing of yours? Okay. Uh, but speaking of gay pirates,
Gay pirates.
when I was telling you about it last week, you asked if Jim, having killed Spanish Jackie's husband, does Jim have to be the new husband? um on Twitter, someone said added the actor who plays Jim and the actor who plays Leslie Jones, and asked for some lesbian rep with
Hell yeah.
uh and the actor who plays Jim replied, I want you to know I was exuding as much sapphic energy as possible
Oh
in
good.
our scene together.
Oh good.
So maybe um
Maybe we can get all kinds of
and
gay. Let's get all the gay in this
well,
in this gay pirate show.
and then I forget who. I think it might have been Reese Darby replied with, "Damn, Jackie has 20 husbands. Has this lady how what will it take to satisfy this lady?" And Jim's actor replied with, "20 husbands, but there's only one Jim."
Good.
Good.
Uh, Also, the guy who
Support
played
it.
Lucius, I saw, has been posting, and he's like, "I love that fanfic, and I give permission to everyone in fanfic to draw me just as stacked as possible." That is your new mission in life, if you choose to
uh, the
accept it.
The actor who plays Izzy Hands has been retweeting everyone who says that Izzy's in love with Blackbeard.
Good. Good. It's not. We're not
Um,
from any specific musicals. We're just singing.
yeah,
There.
good.
I gave myself a weird long neck for no reason. I'm changing it because it scared me.
Listen, these things happen.
Sometimes you just have a real weird long neck. Some nights the drawing is just not working. You just gotta make it scare you less. There. There's our intro. I gotta write our names. It's Kel. That you. You're a wolf with that necktie. It me. I'm a bird with more
Um,
birds on me. Although all the birds have left now. They were
so,
clambering around on my arm while I was drawing. Here, I'll put
dumb
the pickles
bullshit
in
I
there.
watched this week was I watched Human Resources on Netflix,
Ah.
which is the spin-off of Big Mouth.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So it's got that
it's
ugly
supposed
animation style.
Yes, yes.
I hate that animation style. I've
I
heard it's
like
a
it
quite good
better
show,
than
but
I think Big Mouth. I like some moments of it, and then I hate other moments of it. And Human Resources is definitely leaning more into the stuff I liked about Big Mouth.
oh, that's cool. Oh, hey,
So I
Kiwi.
like it better than Big Mouth.
Yeah.
Um, and the uh the thing is, so Human Resources is about all the weird monsters that affect people in Big Mouth. Um
It's like
and
in their
their
off their
workplace,
workplace. Yeah.
yeah. So the main character is a love bug who is assigned to a lady who just had a baby. So the struggle is because the love bug is bad at her job.
Right.
Um, the mom is not instantly feeling attached to her new baby.
Gotcha.
Um,
And then it's having all kinds of emotions about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so the love bug is the booty call for a creature called an addiction angel,
Huh.
who is played by Hugh Jackman and looks like an edgy Tumblr OC.
Oh, that's good. That's very
Um,
good.
yeah. Um, and I like the way they did the addiction angel because there there's like the obvious stuff where he wants to do all the drugs
Yeah.
and is kind of a sleazy dirtbag. Um, and then one of the other characters is a logic rock
Interesting.
um, who is supposed to tell humans like how to make logical decisions.
Mm.
And he's my favorite because he's a big nerd that's excited
Good.
about spreadsheets.
Good.
Um, but so his storyline is that him and a log bug are in charge of this human who just keeps making dumb decisions.
Oh, good.
And it's because the logic rock has a crush on the love bug, so he is not being as
It's not.
persuasive as he should. Um,
Good. The logic is flawed.
so yeah, so their stuff is that their arcs are things like he shouldn't apply for the Suns basketball team credit card because it has an extremely high interest rate. Instead, he should sign up for the Costco credit card, um, and because it has a good reward system and it will help him save money to buy the engagement ring to propose to his fiance. And
Right.
then the love bug is like, but if he gets the basketball card, he gets a discount on painting his van purple with the Suns logo on it. Um, and the love bug wins.
Yep.
um, but so then the addiction angel gets assigned to their team, and at first they're like, "Hey, we're not gonna let him actually get taken over by addiction." Um,
Are we?
and well, and
Yeah.
so you'd think that like the addiction angel would target the love bug.
Mm-hmm.
But actually what he does is cuz the guy needs to lose weight to fit into his suit for his wedding.
Gotcha.
The addiction angel comes up to the logic rock and says, "Hey, I looked up this great routine online that can help us get healthy and fit, and also like downloaded some calorie counters that we could have him use."
Right.
And it's basically he's appealing to logic rock um to like this is how you get an eating disorder. Like
Right. So the addictions are not
uh
the what you would think.
yeah, like the addiction angel knows how to manipulate everybody, not
Right. Right.
just uh um and there were fun like little one-off episodes like a love bug as helping a teenager make a decision about college, and
Mm.
then the love bug comes in conflict with the teenager's ambition gremlin
Nice.
because they get into their dream school, which is not the school their high school girlfriend is going to.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you go to college that girlfriend is going to, or dream school? And that is presented as an argument between her ambition goblin and her love bug.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a fun concept for a
So,
show. It's like Inside
yeah.
Out, but like a very adult version of it.
I like it better than Inside Out. I didn't like
Yeah.
the movie Inside Out.
I mean, it's about like awkward, horny teenagers, and I'm like, I do not care. The amount I care
Yeah.
about awkward, horny teenagers is almost nothing. I just please take that somewhere else.
I think the reason why Big Mouth I thought was okay, like the parts I liked about it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
whenever the awkward, horny teenagers were not cis straight white guys.
That's true.
Um,
I mean, maybe that's not true either because I really love Turning Red, and that is also about awkward, horny teenagers, but it's so different. It's not the same thing.
yeah.
Because it was
Um,
less than about the fact that they were horny teenagers, and the more that they were like teenagers trying to figure themselves out, and that's a compelling story to me.
yeah.
The horny is secondary, and
Um,
just weird to base a show around. Like I don't know that I could watch Euphoria because it's like these people are supposed to be like 16, 17, and they're all fucking,
yeah.
and that's awkward, and I don't want to see it.
Yes. Which is partly why I like the human resources casting a
Mm,
wider net and
yeah, yeah.
focusing on different stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
it sounds like that's kind of the fun part of Big Mouth is that like there's these weird monsters and they can kind of control or influence the things that you do. Why don't we make a show
mhm.
about that instead of these awkward horny teenagers?
So, and the reason why I liked parts of Big Mouth is because like you get while all the kids get a hormone monster because the hormone monsters have different personalities.
Mm,
The kids' horniness manifests in different ways.
right, right.
So like the nerdy girl, like all her horniness is directed at Nathan Fillion fan fiction.
Good.
And there's a whole
That's accurate to be
there's
accurate.
a whole episode about oh my god, girls have porn. Like it's the boys realizing that girls have porn
Right.
because they get a hold of like a bodice ripper romance
Oh
novel.
yeah.
Um
And they're like, "What? It's not just pictures of titties."
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the nerdy girl is biracial and I like that they did a whole arc with her um basically getting more in touch with the black side of her family
Oh, that's cool. That's
because
right,
her
because she's
mom
like
is
raised by her white mom, right?
well it's her white mom and her dad but both of them are kind of like hippie commune people.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's stuff like they're treating her like it's a post-racial America, and it's she points out when she starts to get in touch with the black side of her family, she point says to her mom, "How come Dad always gets stopped at TSA, but you never do, and neither do I?"
Mhm.
Uh,
It's like, well, because you are, he is darker than us.
yeah, basically.
Hmm.
Um,
God, I remember there was a conversation folks were having about like how often do you bathe your children, and there was some black TikTokers who were being horrified at the concept of a bath day that like you only bathe once or twice a week, especially if they're kids, because like sometimes it's hard to chase down your children to bathe them. But
yeah,
I remember specifically my mom sitting my brother down when he hit like 12, 13, that age where boys start to get that kind of, they stop smelling like little boys and they start smelling like kind of Doritos.
gross men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, you do need to shower every day. And part of that's just because you're growing up. But part of it's also because you're really brown and people are going to assume that you're dirty anyway. Not because of the color of your skin that it's brown is dirty, but like literally just because you are native, they're going to assume that I don't take good care of you and don't wash you. So I do need you to shower every day. And like,
See, my mom
that's a
was
hell of a conversation to
just
have with a 12-year-old.
my mom is just obsessed with appearances and vanities. So it's
Mm.
like you hit puberty, you all gotta shower every day. It's gross if you don't shower every day. Why wouldn't you shower every day? Um,
I mean, I
and
am somewhat also. I always shower every day, even when I was a little kid, because I have eczema, and if I
mm,
don't, I get really itchy. So I've always showered
um,
every day because I must.
I think like as a kid, I had the opposite problem where I got eczema because
Oh,
of
because you were showering too
showering too
much.
often. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd heard that's the common thinking now is actually you shouldn't maybe shower every day if you're a kid because kids
Or
have
at
more
least you
sensitive skin.
shouldn't. Or at least you shouldn't use soap every day.
Yeah, yeah, you can like wash off.
Mhm. Um,
But yeah, I constantly had dry skin as a kid. It doesn't help that I lived in Saskatchewan where it's like it's super dry. There is no moisture in the air because it's all frozen.
I mean, I grew up in Boston, and that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
super dry in the winter.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Yeah, that
I
sounds
just
like the
like
fun
when
parts of
I
that show.
yeah, so I definitely like. I also think the ugly art style works better
For the
because they're
monsters.
monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
Um.
it's something about the way they draw the lips and teeth I just cannot stand. It's the
Yeah.
same thing
Yeah.
from Rugrats.
That's
Like I can't stand the baby with just the full on gum smile, just like pink fleshy teeth is disgusting to me.
yeah.
It turns me off. Don't
I'm
want to look
with
at
you.
it. Mouths are weird.
They are.
I would not make a good dentist
No.
for many reasons, but also because of that.
Um. But yeah, so the parts of Big Mouth that I really don't like is they have a gym teacher who I guess is mentally handicapped.
Mm,
And a lot of the jokes are that he is mentally incompetent and is dumb.
mm,
Um and um and weird and just kind of gross for the sake of being gross.
right,
Uh and I'm kind of like the less he's in the show, the more I enjoy the show.
right. That's
Um,
weird. That feels like that was somebody's not just
that's
choice, but like
definitely
they insisted on having a character like that for some
oh,
reason, and it's
it's the
just,
showrunner's choice and insistence because he voices this character.
oh, gotcha.
Um, so like I feel like I know exactly where it comes from. It comes from the showrunner.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Is he doing like an Adam Sandler sort of thing?
I don't even know how to describe it. It's just I just hate that character.
It's just a bad choice. Don't do it.
Yeah,
It's weird.
bad decisions all around. And then like a thing that was fun in Big Mouth is there was a trans kid in it.
Hmm.
Um and what I think is interesting that they did with the hormone monster is like made the kid terrified of the hormone monster and their puberty blockers made it disappear.
Oh, okay.
Um
That makes
so
sense. That's cool.
that's a good metaphor, I
Yeah.
think. Like kudos to them. Um uh
I've seen
so yeah,
clips from that
it
show because like there was a big musical number that they did with the mom taking the black daughter to like a women's spa, and it's her first
yes,
time seeing like adult female bodies, and she's all like, "Whoa, okay." It's all like
um
about body acceptance.
yeah, it was very body positivity.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I liked is so the white girl main character is her parents are getting divorced.
Mm,
Um, and a thing that I like is the way they wrote her dad is like you can understand exactly why the 12-year-old girl thinks her dad is great
right.
and also why her mom finds her dad infuriating.
Right. 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 You're like, yeah, this
Cuz he
divorce needs
is
to happen.
yeah, like I'm fully on board for mom getting divorced
Yeah.
because he's like cool dad who wants to hang out and play video games and
Right.
like
But is not doing
um
the work of being an adult
yeah,
that the mom needs him to.
but he didn't go get the groceries and like
Yeah, because he's a cool
12-year-old
dad.
girl is thinking like who cares about the groceries.
We're having fun. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um
that's a problem. That mom
and
is
then
raising two children. One of them is her husband.
yeah.
It's a it's not
Um
great.
yeah, so then and then what's also funny is like her hormone monster is obsessed with like creepy, weird bad boys. And she's like, I don't know why I want to make out with this scummy weirdo
He's
who
so weird
has a
and
lot of
bad.
knives.
Yup.
um so yeah, I mostly like it when it's not about the dude characters.
Yeah.
uh and then I like the human resources even better because it kind of leans into what I liked about Big Mouth. Rosie Perez is the voice of the Ambition Goblin and is
Ooh.
great.
Ooh.
She's this tiny, scaly monster who's like, if you don't win this case, I will rip out everyone's eyeballs. And like,
Good. Love it.
and it's like this is the exact right intensity for
A
a weird
ambition
creature that
goblin.
wants you to succeed. Yeah.
Yes.
And then one of the arcs that I thought was nice is that the new mom is wondering if she has fallen out of love with her husband,
Mm.
um, and maybe thinks that she wants a divorce. Um, and while so it's all the ladies' monsters talking to the husband's monsters
Right.
to see if they can work it out. And one of the things, like while they're talking, is Ambition Goblin is like, he doesn't even have an ambition goblin, he's a loser. um and then eventually the love bugs real like getting things back on track with them as a couple, says to the ambition goblin, well, maybe it's good that he doesn't have an ambition goblin because now there's no one stopping your needs.
Ooh. Which
And
is.
the ambition goblin is like, this appeals to me.
It's like, tell me more.
Yeah.
Tell me more. I wish to subscribe.
Yeah.
Good. Why did I draw her eyes too far apart? That's a weird thing, but I did.
And then Maria Bamford is the voice of a anxiety mosquito
Oh no. Oh, I love it.
who just buzzes around your head and just like,
That is a
oh
perfect
no.
description of anxiety.
Yeah.
I hate mosquitoes. I hate anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Perfect. Love it.
Um and then
Oh, hey, Mary. How you doing, little
one of
guy?
the one of the love bugs is working for an old lady who has Alzheimer's.
Oh, yeah?
Um and there's a part where the anxiety mosquito like comes up and is like, I just got a message that I'm being kicked off so and so's team, and I panicked and thought, am I not doing a good job? And like she starts to like sort of spiral, but then it turns out she's just dying, and that's great.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I don't know if you can hear the squeaking that's going on my shoulders, but the hobbits are running from one shoulder to the other, squeaking at each
Good,
other.
good.
They just want something. I don't know what it is. It's not on this shoulder. They want
Um,
bedtime, probably.
I also watched a show that I found absolutely infuriating, but I finished it even though
It was not good.
it was infuriating me. Like, I
Mm,
don't think it's bad. It's just I fundamentally disagree with the concept.
gotcha.
Um it's called The Gilded Age, and it's like maybe robber barons weren't so bad.
Oh, gotcha. And you're like, no,
It's
though.
like, no, that man just destroyed another guy's life and drove him to suicide. He is
Yeah.
not the hero that you're making him
No.
out to be.
Nope. Nope. Robber
And
barons,
granted,
not good.
the guy that he drove to suicide was also very wealthy and
Yes.
got his wealth off the back of colonialism
Mm-hmm.
and
Look,
other
two
nonsense.
shitty people can exist.
Yeah, they're both bad,
Yeah.
and I don't like either of them.
No.
And then the show is also infuriating in that, like, these people are oddly progressive for the time,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Like they definitely
because
didn't have those attitudes.
the conflict is like the new money people trying to enter society and being snubbed and blocked by the old money people,
Right.
but the old money lady like is like gives a chance to this hardworking black lady and like
Mm.
and then yells at her staff for being racist to the
Hmm.
black lady
That's
that she
that's
hired.
not
And
how that went down.
yeah, it's like this lady cares about the impeccable breeding of her neighbors. This is not a lady who is not racist.
Yeah, no.
Like,
There's no world in which that is true.
yeah. Um
That same type of lady today, still probably racist, but in private, quietly.
yeah. And yeah, I watched the whole thing but was infuriated the whole time and was like I should stop. But then I have to get up and change the channel.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Squeaky.
So I
Hey,
just
bud. Hey,
seethed
little squeaky
the
buddy.
whole time.
There he goes. Gesundheit. I have heard that there are a bunch of free Sailor Moon episodes on Tubi, and I do need to watch that. I splurged
Um
this week, and I got myself a tablet. I've been meaning to buy one for conventions because I am doing like I want to touch people's stuff as little as possible.
yes.
So I'm like, well, I
What
need to set up my
tablet
credit
did you
card
get?
terminal. I got a Tab 10 or Tab A something. Uh, it's quite good. It's refurbished. It's in really good shape. But I was like, hey, wait a minute. I have a tablet now, and yes, it's for cons and stuff. But also, since Netflix and other streaming services screw up my tablet, so I can't watch shows while I color, I can
Mhm.
watch them on my tablet. I can just prop it up beside my monitor, and now I can watch shows while I draw again. Hooray! Which is good because I'm going to be starting my big drawing contract real soon, and I
Yeah.
will need to be doing a lot of drawing. Soon,
Well,
soon I will watch much TV.
you should. I think you still have the password to my Funimation subscription.
Oh, maybe?
But that's gonna last about 2 months more. Then
Yeah.
they're shutting it down because they merged with Crunchyroll.
Right, right, right.
Um,
I had a Crunchyroll account for a few months. When it was still working for me, and I went through. That was when I did my big
I
My Hero
mean,
Academia
Crunchyroll is
dive.
gonna still exist.
Yeah.
But it's like Funimation's getting mushed into Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
I think it was you who got me into My Hero Academia. That was good. It's a good
yes,
show.
because I lent you my I told you the password to my Funimation
Right. I
subscription.
got caught up, and then we talked about it
Yeah.
because it's good.
I am actually not caught up with it. I fell off of it because it got into the the shonen problem where they're like
Yes.
just repeating themselves a bunch.
Yep.
Um, and my not caring about superheroes eventually caught up.
Yeah, and you were like, superheroes, whatever.
Yeah. The novelty has worn off, and now
Mm-hmm.
I am done. Um,
There's some good background bird noises tonight.
yeah.
The sun is setting and they want to snuggle, so they're trying to like nest on me,
Ah,
which is good.
cute.
They're trying to burrow into my shirt. I have long sleeves on and they're trying to force themselves in there. Or under the dangling ends of my sweater.
Um, Man, I went through all the trouble of designing Connor's very nice house, and now I'm like, oh, well, it's very pretty. This is a pain in the ass to draw.
Right. Like,
It's a very pretty Art Deco-y house.
Ooh, nice. Do you have like a reference model set up at least? Or do you have to draw it all from scratch,
Yeah.
every angle?
Well, I have one angle. Um, and it's kind of like enough that I now know what it all looks like.
Gotcha.
But
Oh yeah, I
I
just pulled up
don't.
your stream. I can see the like double staircase. That's
Yeah,
fancy.
yeah. Connor is a fancy boy.
I eventually got myself like threw together a really rough model in SketchUp for some of my characters' houses, and then
Mhm.
I would just put the camera angle where I wanted it to be and trace that in Clip Studio.
I can never get the hang of SketchUp.
Mm. I think I can drive it because I did 3D modeling, but yeah, it uses a lot of the same controls as Maya, and they're not intuitive. So I was watching a documentary, or well, not even a documentary. It was like a short thing about
Mhm.
raves in virtual spaces. So
Yes.
this is a thing that has started happening over the course of COVID, because obviously people like to go out
Mhm.
into club and dance. Could not
Mhm.
do it during COVID. Things were shut down. Um, and VR has been getting a lot more popular, especially VR chat.
Mhm.
So there have been like there are channels you can go to on there that are like modeled like famous clubs that actually exist, and then you can go as your avatar and go and like dance at these clubs. And then actual DJs have gone in and made sets and like just DJ'd a rave in virtual space. Uh,
Fun.
and at first I was like, that sounds very dumb because like you have to, you wander around as an awkward avatar and kind of dance. But I didn't realize that some of the like motion software has gotten quite good. So there's these setups in your room that actually like motion track your whole body, so your avatar can move and dance. You're not just doing like little pre-scripted dance motions. It's actually you like in your house dancing, and then it translates into your character. And then I was like, well, wait a minute though. I do my least favorite part of having to go to the club is like, okay, now I have to figure out where I'm putting all my stuff and like coat check and how am I getting
So this would
back.
be easier and
Yeah,
preferable, is because
yeah,
you can
just in your
just take
house.
off your headset.
Exactly. You don't even have to get dressed up. You can if you want to, but you don't need to.
You can also just design your avatar to be dressed up.
Exactly, and you do. It's like that's cool. Plus, you can dance with a what was one of the best avatars? It was like a little black cat, like a little tuxedo cat, in like cyberpunk sunglasses. It was just a deep man's voice. He was like, "Yeah, I really enjoy coming to these. It's really fun."
Good.
And I was like, "I like deep voice man cat. This is very good."
Yeah. Um that reminded me that Meta failed
Oh
spectacularly.
yeah. Oh yes. I delicious.
Um and Mark Zuckerberg cried
Good. Good.
in his meeting, and he said, "I want you to know I'm not crying because Meta failed. I just I forget what his
There's
reasoning
just
was. Like
onions. There's onions under the table.
was having like a sinus problem. And
You know what? I like it when billionaires cry. I'm not
but
even gonna apologize.
also on the topic of billionaires crying, is the uh Jack Dorsey, the guy who founded Twitter.
Was like, I shouldn't have done this. This is a problem.
Yes, he did. He did say
Yeah,
that.
he
He
did
said,
say
"I
that.
shouldn't have done this. I'm sorry for ruining the internet."
Yeah,
Um,
Jack. You know,
um,
fucked it up. We
he's
had
like,
BBSs and freedom, and you made
yeah, he's like,
coups happen.
I'm part of the problem that ruined the internet, and I am sorry.
All along, we thought it was a Kardashian, but no, it was fucking Jack Dorsey.
Well, it was him and Mark Zuckerberg
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whoever made Tumblr, and
Oh, Tumblr. I know it's evil, and I know they kicked all the sex workers off, and that is awful, but
I think they allowed them back on
I
because
think
they lost their
they
entire
did.
user
Yeah,
base.
they did. Like overnight.
Yeah.
But I have been
Um,
enjoying all of the Our Flag Means Death gifts that come from Tumblr. There's been some good ones.
I've just been enjoying everything Our Flag Means Death.
Oh, it's so good.
Um, I um I'm glad that it's textually queer.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually looking at Our Flag Means Death gifs and images for writing my newsletter this month.
Oh, good.
Because part of my newsletter is telling people to go um watch Our Flag Means Death.
Mm-hmm.
Um and uh then the um while looking for them, there's so many people who are like, "Oh, Blackbeard and Steed are just like Crowley and Azrael in Good Omens. Same energy. They're exactly the same.
A good boy
Just
and a
different
bad boy.
font. Yeah, they're like same but different. Same name but different font." Um, and I was like, "No, they're very different
Yeah.
because Crowley and Azrael are all in subtext land, and
Mm-hmm.
Steed and Blackbeard, they kissed.
Yep.
That's text. They love each
There was
other.
longing. There
Um,
was then the culmination of that longing on screen,
yeah,
not just
yeah,
in our
like they,
imaginations.
yeah. So it's different. I'm sorry, but Crowley and Azrael are not the queer rep that you think they
No.
are.
No, because
They're
none of it happened.
it's all subtext.
Yeah. Now there is some great fanfic. Don't get me wrong. Uh,
Yep.
there's also some weird stuff.
Just
Uh,
just
Corey
the it's
introduced me to
different.
the one where they have snake babies. That was fun. That was very silly.
It's different because it's subtext, and here it's the text.
Yes.
Um,
One of these is a queer story. One of them is not. One of them you have made into a
is
queer story.
yes. Uh,
I don't remember why, but after the last Van Calf, the
uh-huh.
last Van Calf that happened, uh, Corey and I wound up singing in my elevator on the way home, "Take Me to Snurch." Snake church. And one of my neighbors walked on and was very amused.
You sure this was at Van Calf? Because I was at the all
Oh
the Van
no,
Calfs until they
no, it
were
was not
COVID
Van Calf.
canceled.
You're right. That was the furry show, Vancouver. That was the very last show that happened pre-COVID, and it happened like the week before Emerald City was like, yeah, we're not happening this year.
That makes more sense because
Yeah,
I was like, I crashed on your couch for Van Calf. I feel like I would
yeah.
have been there for if this had happened at Van
No, no,
Calf.
that's where we watched. That's where we started watching My Hero Academia.
Yes, and
Was
that's
Van
also where
Calf.
we watched Kiss Him Not Me.
Hell yes,
Um uh
hell yes. Did you
which
get the emails about Van Calf happening this year?
I did not, but it's probably because I can't I think we talked about this last week. I refunded my table rather
Yeah, yeah,
than pushing it forward.
yeah.
So
Cool.
um
Yeah, I'm going to do it because it's a local show and because they're like
yeah.
we are going to have masks and try and have good ventilation. But I can totally imagine not wanting to come up from the States for that.
Yeah.
I had to cancel on Calgary Expo this week. I've finally pulled the plug because I've been bugging them to update their COVID safety information because Alberta
Yeah,
has scrapped
and
all of
they're
their safety. Like they're not having any
and
restrictions.
I
Uh,
saw you say they're not requiring masks, so you're like, I'm out.
I'm out. I'm 100% out, and
Okay.
I am now just waiting to see if they will refund me or not, or if I need to start shit with them on Twitter because that's bullshit. Them leaving it to like 2 weeks before the show and then being, by the way, no masks, so it's too late for refunds. Come here at your own risk. I'm like, that's
Hmm.
not part of the contract that I signed. Give me my money back or push me back another year. So we'll see. We'll see. I think I'm going to have a commission sale that weekend because obviously that's like one of my bigger shows of the year, and walking away from it's going to be a financial hit. But I am not going and getting COVID.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give Calgary another shot in the future.
Yeah,
Is there room at your table, like, if enough people
yeah,
rotated out of that,
yeah,
or
yeah. It's basically just Sam and Peter and I these days. Um,
right?
and
Maybe I'll.
Peter, I think, has his own table thus far, although that'll change after this whole we have to cancel things. But we've got so much seniority. I've been doing that show every year since 2007. So if I'm like, give me a bigger table, they're gonna give me a bigger table.
Yeah, because the one time I did it, it was me and Abby Howard got stuck in that
Oh God, that was
weird
awful.
area.
Yeah, you guys were like
Yeah,
in the not in the Saddle Dome, but like in the side section, the
yeah.
Chuck Wagon races area. Oh, Calgary. Such a weird rodeo town. Oh, Gopher, I have not read My Hero Academia. I've just watched it. It's actually been a
Uh,
while since I've read a manga series.
um, I got subscription to Viz Shonen Jump online.
Oh yeah,
You can read their entire Shonen Jump back catalog.
cool.
Um, so if you want to read My Hero Academia for $2 a month for however long it takes you to catch up,
Heck
it's all
yeah.
on there. Um, what's very funny is my friend Molly
Yep.
read My Hero Academia because she works in the library, and because a lot of people were talking about it, she like knew whenever the new volumes came in, so she
Right.
like um read it, and so we were talking about it, and she's like, I found the ship, like what she assumed the fandom was making their big ship,
Right.
um and she thought it was um I always call him Icy Hot Zuko, and I can never remember his
Oh yeah.
name.
No, no. That's
But
that's all the description you need. I know exactly who you mean.
yeah, yeah. So it's Icy Hot Zuko and Deku. She's
Right.
like, that's the ship. And I was like, you're wrong. Um, and then I told her that like the ship I see the most is Bakugo and the kid that can harden his skin.
Right.
I forget his name, but spiky redheaded kid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
One of the two who have like
and
the same power.
and then she was like confused by that because she hadn't gotten to the chapter where they bond.
Yeah.
But and I'm like, and then the other ship I see a lot is Eraserhead and Present Mike.
Oh,
And then my
yes.
friend Molly goes, oh, I hadn't even considered shipping the teachers.
Well, there's your first
Yeah.
mistake.
And then we looked it up on AO3 because we're like, AO3 will tell us what's the most popular ship.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
of course, the most popular ship is Deku Bakugo. Like, what?
Oh
Why
no,
do we even
that's
think otherwise?
that's
Like, of
vanilla.
course,
That's just straightforward.
yeah. Like, number two ship was um the one I mentioned with the red-haired kid and Bakugo.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Then was Deku and Icy Hatsuko,
Oh, I
and
see Hatsuko.
then it's All Might and Eraserhead, and
Oh,
then Present Mike and Eraserhead. Um, so
Teacher Dads
and
is
then
a
I
good
found
ship.
out
I like that a lot.
what someone say.
Someone said Teacher Dads. Dads is the good
Yeah.
ship, and I'm like, yeah,
Oh, I also said my person a ship that I really like for purely aesthetic reasons is Deku's mom and All Might because it's a
yes.
tall and a small, and that's
Tall and
all
a
I want.
small. And Deku's mom is such a cutie. She's
And
adorable.
Deku's mom is all curvy, and All
Yeah.
Might is all angles.
Yes.
Because they always ship her with skinny All Might, never big
Mm.
buff All Might. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like they're the same mass, just like different proportions.
Are there any lesbian ships in there? Does no one ship
Um,
the girls?
there's a lot of basically the girl who can make things by pulling them out of her skin.
Yeah.
They ship her with everybody.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
She's the
there
lesbian
there
bicycle.
so there's when I say everybody, everybody. It's very clear that like the dudes who read My Hero
Dudes are into
Academia think
her.
she's the hottest.
Women are into her.
So it's so yeah, so it's like her and
Oh,
Eureka, her and Bakugo,
oh.
her and like
Gopher's
it's her and everybody.
yeah, Gopher's saying that Momo and Jiro is a really popular one. Cool.
Yeah. Momo's the girl that
Yeah.
can pull stuff out, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um there's also a lot of Yura and Bakugo, um, which I thought was interesting.
Hmm.
Uh, just for that one, like he didn't go easy on her, so that means he respects her enough to not go easy on her, like
Right.
bit when they did their tournament.
Right, right.
Um. Anyway, I fell off of it because I don't know. I just kind of got bored of what the villains were doing. Like we
Yeah.
kept checking in on the in the manga. They kept checking in on the villains, and I kind of
And
didn't
you're like,
care.
meh.
They also haven't gone back to my favorite character in a while, which is Speedy Guy, the guy with the jets in
Oh, yes.
his
Yeah.
legs. Um,
I mean,
and
yeah.
I of course like him because he's anal retentive, organized guy who
Yes.
has 9 million pairs of
Yes.
glasses because of course they will break while fighting.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I think it's very easy
uh,
to determine who my favorite character is. It's the goth boy with a bird head.
the goth bird, yes.
Goth bird. Goth bird, best bird. Give me angsty goth bird. I've already created a weeaboo bird. And let me tell you about
um,
my character, so. Clearly.
Like if you have a guy who gets very passionate about his organizational system, that's
That's
gonna be my
yours.
favorite
Yeah, that's your
character.
favorite.
That or a
Good.
himbo. Like if you
Yeah.
have a delightful himbo, like because they do like
Kel. Kel.
yeah,
We have just added a new character to my TV show that we are writing. And
yes,
you are going to love him because he is a himbo accountant.
good, good.
He's very good.
Um,
Oh, yes, please, Gopher. Yes, please.
what's Gopher saying?
He's gonna link me to some good fic.
Cause I also like redheaded spiky guy.
Yeah.
Who should definitely be shipped with Bakugo. Uh, there's a YouTuber I watch who she does these videos that are what your ship says about you for
Oh,
different
good.
fandoms.
Oh,
So
good.
it's like what your My Hero Academia ship says about you. And then he got to Bakugo and redheaded guy, and he does a clip of two bros sitting in a hot tub. It's like, yes, that is the ships that appeal to me.
Yep.
Um and then she also did one that was all Buffy ships, and it's she also got my number as far as the Buffy ships, because it's if you ship Willow and Oz, you just want good things for Oz.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that one ends with saying, if you ship Willow and Kennedy, your name is Joss Whedon.
Good. Good.
Because he was the only one that thought they were a good fit together.
And everyone else was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, Joss?" No.
um
Did I ever tell you about the time I played in a Buffy LARP?
no, I
Oh
don't think you
God, that was
did.
fun. It was one of my friends decided to run it. It was just a one shot, so it was not like an ongoing game or anything. But
Hmm.
it was all of the characters from all of the seasons, um, which meant that there were also like four different Buffys.
Uh-huh.
Because it was like there was movie Buffy, which was fascinating, and then there was like early season one, season two Buffy, and then like
Hmm.
end game Buffy, and then sort of in the
Hmm.
middle Buffy. So there's four
Yes.
Buffys who were all trying to figure out why they'd all been pulled here. There was two Oz's, two Willows. I mean, one of them was obviously Evil Willow, Evil Hot Willow. Um,
I feel like in that case, then there should be three Willows,
yeah,
because there's high school Willow, there's college Willow, and then there's evil
and then
Willow.
there's Evil Willow. And I got to play maybe the most obscure character of all. I got to play Cassandra, or Cassie, who was like
Yes.
in one episode. Uh,
Yes, she saw her death, and
yes.
Buffy tries to save her and fails
Yeah.
because she has a brain aneurysm or whatever.
Yeah. My whole thing was like, I knew what was going on, but I could not tell anybody about it.
Where you could, and they just wouldn't believe you.
Exactly. And I was just like, look, I was just dead. I talked to God about this. I know what's going on. You won't believe me, so I can't even tell you about it. And by the way,
Um,
she says hi. Everybody's doing well. And they were all like, she, interesting. I think I said that to one of the Willows, and she was like, I knew it. But yeah, that was a super fun game. It was very silly. It was
good.
very rules
I'm
light,
glad.
and it was all Buffy fans. So that was a really fun day.
Good.
I think we'd rented like the back room of a Boston Pizza.
Good. Faith and Oz were my two favorite characters in Buffy.
Mm. What? You like the werewolf character? Never.
Crazy, I know.
Weird. How out of character for you?
It's also as I got older and learned more about writing, I realized why Oz is my favorite character, and also why he had to leave the show.
Mm.
Because a character like Oz is counterintuitive to the way that Joss Whedon likes to write drama.
Yes. Yeah.
He's too emotionally mature and good at telling people about what he's feeling,
Yes.
or
So
at
he's
least
not
what
good
he
for the
needs.
drama.
Yeah. Or at least like maybe not so much his feelings, but like his needs.
Yeah.
Because there's the whole part where Willow and Xander are cheating on Oz and Cordelia respectively,
Right.
and they get caught, and um Oz tells Willow that like he needs space,
Mm-hmm.
and Willow keeps trying to apologize to him more, and he's like, "Listen, I told you that I need space. So you coming to continuously try to apologize and beg for forgiveness makes me think that you just want to feel absolved, and that's not my problem
Yeah.
because I told you what I need.
Which
And
is a great mature attitude to take.
yeah.
Yeah.
um and then also when he like first meets Willow, he says that he likes her,
Yeah.
but he doesn't want to kiss her at just this moment because she clearly has a crush on Xander,
Yeah.
and he doesn't want their kiss to be because she wants to make Xander jealous.
Right. Good.
Which
Very, very
again,
self-aware.
mature, stating his boundaries.
Yeah.
um
Oh, see ya, Kiwi.
and
In
yeah,
in
so
a
that's
clear
like that.
way, knowing what he
Yeah,
needs. Yep.
yeah. So um
That's not good for teenage drama.
yeah, that's not good for the drama Whedon likes to write in general,
Yeah.
teenagers or no.
Yeah. But it does make him a very good character. It's like, good.
Yeah.
You got your shit together there, werewolf. I like you.
Yeah. um and then that's why he had to get written off the show.
Yep. Emotionally responsible werewolves. Not allowed.
Emotionally responsible anybody not
Yeah.
allowed in a
Yeah.
Joss Whedon show.
Yep.
um and then Faith's great because I love her.
Mm. I think there was also a Faith at that LARP.
Did her and Buffy have lesbian subtext?
I think so. Knowing the
That's
two players,
important.
I would guarantee it.
That's important.
That was a fun game. God, I miss LARP. I have not LARPed in so long. That's not, I mean,
um
I sorry, that's not true. I went to one very briefly in between the fourth and fifth waves. Uh, Everyone was masked and everyone was vaccinated, and then it was no longer safe by the next game to do another LARP, so we stopped.
oh, that's a bummer.
Sucked.
um I saw a thing on Twitter where someone was like, we're going to get another wave soon, and I can tell because the 1-star reviews of scented candles have started up again.
Mm-hmm. Why can't I smell anything? This candle sucks. Oh. Oh no. Yep. They haven't been doing any wastewater monitoring in Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
But or they've only been doing water monitoring. They haven't been doing any sort of tracking governmentally because that's not they'd have to spend money on that. But the wastewater is saying that the levels are really really high right now. So I'm like, I don't want to go to an unmasked con in Alberta. I hate it.
Oof. Um,
Let's start a new page.
Earlier today, I was talking to people in the anime Discord I'm in, and
Yeah.
it was brought up that I'm the oldest person in the Discord, or the second oldest person.
Right.
Because they were talking about what they were all doing 7 years ago, and they were like, instead of being a jaded adult, I was a jaded teenager, and I was like,
You were a teenager
I
seven
was
years
all
ago.
yeah, well, I was
Yep.
like, I was a jaded adult already, like, so that
Yeah.
I'm still a jaded adult. And they thought I was making a like I'm an old soul joke, and I'm like, no, I'm
No, I'm.
34.
Yeah.
7 years ago, I was 27. I was already a jaded adult. I continue to be a jaded adult.
Yeah. It doesn't change a lot in your 30s, y'all.
Yeah. And then I informed them that everyone under 25 is a child.
Yes.
So there are a couple of children in the Discord. But most people are not children in the Discord.
Good.
Um, because I think like the average age is like 28, 29.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
they're like, so they're not children,
But they are, you know, younger.
but yeah, one of them was like, I'm 23, and I'm like, you're a
Oh, an
child.
actual baby.
I'm like, you're a babby.
Yeah, that's too
Um,
babby.
and then she's like, a babby that you just sent porn to, because I did send them some pictures of choice pages from The Silent Lord, the current Letters
Oh,
for
oh
Lucardo book that's
yes.
crowdfunding.
Oh yes,
Um,
I have backed that. I've enjoyed the first two
it
immensely.
is, it's some good shit.
It's some real good shit. It's very good storytelling, and the art is gorgeous.
Yes, some good shit. Did you watch the video?
No, no, I haven't.
You
I
should
just
watch the video
I just
because I
backed it
worked
because I was like,
very hard. I worked very hard cat wrangling to
for
get
that
all
one.
those things to the video people.
Good.
Um, so
I
watch it and enjoy.
will go watch it because I mean I'm already on board. As soon as Spike announces the third letters for Lucario, I'm in. I need to know what happened. Oh my god.
You know about that hot vampire that looks like David Diggs.
Yep. 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 Yep.
When I was sharing some pages, someone asked, "Who's posting Hamilton porn?"
I
It's not
mean,
Hamilton porn. He just looks like David
yeah.
Diggs.
You're
Uh,
not entirely wrong though.
it's David Diggs is a vampire porn, not
Yeah.
Hamilton
Yeah.
porn.
Yeah. Different.
There's a difference.
I was telling my friend who looks very much like Taika Waititi in that Blackbeard makeup that he is contractually obligated to now dress as Taika Waititi for Halloween.
Good, good. I support this.
Yes. I was like, I'm sorry, you do need to. And he was like, I actually have most of that costume already. And I'm like, good,
Well,
meant to be
here's the
then.
thing about that costume. It's the outfit from Mad Max.
Yes.
Uh, so he could be Taika Waititi. He could be Mad Max.
That's true. Either one.
Depending on
Also,
whatever
like,
one strikes his
this
fancy.
friend of mine is a LARPer, and he's just like, "What? I need some dark clothes that are vaguely gothy." Yeah, I have those. I have several outfits of those. Now I need to convince one of my blonde friends to be Steed.
Um, I watched a little YouTube video that was Reese Darby and Taika responding to listener questions
Oh yeah.
that were like, "Who's your favorite historical pirate?" Or "Would you rather have a hook hand or a peg leg?" And by the end, they were like, "Who wrote these fucking stupid questions?" and like just threw them out.
Good. That was the one thing. Lane and I were watching it, and my partner Lane loves some historical naval fiction, and both of us have read through the Matron O'Brien series like many a time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I love naval historical fiction. Lane has gone to the point where he knows like all of the different lines and all how the rigging works and all of that stuff. And so we were watching it, and he's like, "I love the show. Don't get me wrong. It's great. I'm having a good time. But like, none of this is how a ship actually operates. Nobody's driving it. I haven't seen them touch the lines even once. Like
One of the
this is not a
questions
show about accuracy. They're not actually supposed to be
One of
sailing
the one of the questions they were asked is what job would they want on the ship,
them.
and
It's
they
like
were
none
like
of them.
any
They're all
job that
awful.
doesn't involve cleaning. They're like, I guess I'd be the guy that sits in the crow's nest because like,
Yeah.
oh, it's time to clean. And it's like, can't. I'm all the way up here.
Yep. Holly stoning the deck is just laborious backbreaking work. And you gotta do it all the time. Also, like the captain's wardrobe. I know it's a joke that he's got this ludicrous wardroom.
Mhm.
That's so fancy, unnecessarily fancy, but it's like impossibly large for a ship.
That's why he's a maniac.
Yeah, he's a maniac. He built secret passages.
Yeah.
He knows nothing about ships.
It's great. One of my friends was like, "I feel bad for Steed's wife," and I was like, "Listen, she has her painting teacher that she can fuck. She's fine."
Hmm. She seems pretty happy with the
Um,
situation.
yeah, she's good. She's covered.
Yep.
I liked her friend with the eye patch who was like, "Let's kill your husband."
Yes.
What was great in the show, I've been watching Minx, the feminist porno one.
Oh yeah.
And one of the new episodes, like their first issue came out, and it was pulled from shelves because of inappropriate content. Um, but then he's like, there's a scene where they're having a meeting about its sales, and he's like, okay, sales are not the worst I've seen. But I have seen better. He's trying to like look on the bright side of stuff. He goes, we have some areas of good sales. Um, the Castro, Provincetown, um, and while he continues to list off gay neighborhoods in big cities,
Good.
um, the gay photographer is just smirking.
Yeah.
um and then they're trying to brainstorm ways to do some like grassroots marketing, get more people interested in the magazine. um and the whole episode is like everyone hustling to like get ladies to read this magazine.
Right.
um and the gay guy just says, just give me a stack, I have an idea. And so while it shows everyone else busting their ass to sell copies and get the word out, um then cuts to the gay guy, and he just has a little table in front of a gay bar, and is it's like sipping a cocktail and just selling magazines as guys come in and or come and go from the gay bar.
Uh-huh. It's like, I can move some covers, trust me.
Yeah, and he actually like sells out before everyone else is done with their grassroots
You've got the
marketing
wrong
stuff.
market. You think you're selling this to ladies.
I mean, they can also sell it to ladies. It's
Yeah.
just gay
Yeah.
dudes also want to look at that dick.
Mm-hmm.
Um and yeah, so it was a funny episode cuz the main character kind of like met the more extreme version of her and got kind of a taste of her own medicine. Um because she goes to a college to promote the magazine, and is asked to like speak at their like feminist women empowerment
Yeah,
like
yeah.
group. um and then one is like, this penis is flaccid and I resent the implication that women are not strong enough to handle an erect penis. um and then the next girl is like, your article on marital rape was good, but it didn't go far enough because all marriage is rape. And
Oof.
like, um, and well, I was like, this group is future turfs of America.
Yep.
And the series has found its villain because there's a city council member who's a conservative that's gonna clean up the town.
Of course. Good. That's gonna go well. Oh,
And at
curiously,
first, the
Kevin. Yes. First off, I would say they are ships, not boats. But also that is definitely a question he could answer. The different types, different mass numbers. After Emerald City, or not Emerald City, after San Diego one year, we stayed a couple extra days so that I could go see the zoo because that zoo is incredible.
because the
But
zoo's great.
the
Yeah.
zoo is so good. I could spend a month there. I could live there. I want to live there with the penguins. But we also went to the Tall Ship Museum, and that was great because we were going around and looking at all the different lines, and like we got to see the actual ship from the Master and Commander movie, which is really cool. It's like one of our favorites. But Lane was explaining a bunch of the lines to us, and then this like old lady came over and was like, "Oh, excuse me, do you work here?" And he's like, "No, but I can probably answer your question," and she did.
Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah, it was very cute. I can't remember what she was asking about, like what one of the lines did, and he was like, "Oh, well, it's this and this and this."
Fun.
Yeah, ship knowledge, very cool. I like it when people are passionate about things.
Yeah. You know what I'm passionate about? Werewolves.
Yes, good.
So the thing I put in my newsletter that I was talking to actually Kevin about while running is so Olive and I recently both watched this bad werewolf show called Wolf Like Me.
Mm.
And its problem is it's called Wolf Like Me. And then the mystery of the show is what's up with this lady that the main character met who's mysteriously running off every
Is
evening.
she a wolf like
And
me?
we know the answer is that she's a werewolf
Yeah,
because the show is called Wolf Like Me.
right.
Um
Is the main
and
character also a werewolf?
no.
Ah,
Um so um so like that got me talking to Kevin about how there's a problem I see in a lot of werewolf stories is they want to have that mystery of ooh, what's going on, but it's called Wolf Like Me or
yeah.
Cursed or
Well, because
something of that nature.
they want to appeal to the people who are into werewolves. So they're like, we need to name it Wolf
Yeah,
something.
they want people who are into werewolves to know werewolves be here.
Yeah, but
But
that's also
then the mystery of what's up with this person, um, the like, well, you can't do that because we already know because
that
you told us in the title.
somebody's a werewolf. We
Um,
do know that.
and the times where, and it's like, as someone who appreciates a good slow burn,
Yeah.
um, I like slow burns. I understand the desire to do a slow burn, but like, if you're going to give the answer to the slow burn away in your title, all it does is instead of making a nice slow burn, it makes cut to the Simpsons going, when are they going to get to the fireworks factory?
Yes.
Um, so the so you get like, oh, what's going on with this lady who's obviously a werewolf, and the season was 8 episodes and they spent 5 episodes going, oh, what's
Who's
up
the
with this
werewolf?
lady, and the answer is we already know she's a werewolf. um and because they were so busy with that quote unquote mystery, they didn't get to any of the stuff that was actually interesting in the show
Ah,
because the reason why, so main character is a single dad and his daughter is having like panic attacks.
Okay.
Um, and the reason why he meets Werewolf Lady, and is brought and like wants to get to know her is because, um, when his daughter is having a panic attack, um, she like kind of supernaturally calms the daughter.
Interesting.
Um, so yeah, so it's like, um, I'm very much like that's I want to know why that's happening,
Yeah,
and
is the
you
daughter
wasted.
also a werewolf? Is
No,
yeah.
that's what I was wondering the whole
Yeah.
time. But the answer is no.
Okay.
Um, it's just like because they spent so much time being like, "What's up with this lady?" We never get the answer to why can a werewolf suddenly like supernaturally calm someone having a panic attack?
Yeah.
Like,
Werewolves can cast calm emotions. Apparently, we don't know
yeah.
why.
I mean, if it's a mystical predator thing, that might make sense. If they like exude a calming aura that makes their
Yeah.
prey not run away, that
Yeah,
might
yeah.
make sense. But
But they didn't get into
yeah,
that.
we never get into that because we're busy going, but what's up with this lady? That
Hmm.
is definitely a werewolf, and we know she's a werewolf
Yeah.
because of the title.
Yeah.
Um
It's cool. We're with you.
uh
We know what the show's about. Please give us more of
and
the werewolf.
so and yeah, and then you get like all these movies where a person gets bit at the beginning and they're trying to do the slow burn till they turn into a werewolf at the end. But again, like, when are we going to get to the fireworks factory?
Hmm.
Um and I think that's why a lot of werewolf movies fall flat is because they don't get to the fireworks factory. Um and the times where the slow burn works is usually something where there's another story going on at the same time.
Gotcha.
um like, Penny Dreadful is not a good show, um but their slow burn reveal of Josh Hartnett is bisexual werewolf cowboy,
Good, good, good. Good.
that slow burn works because the main plot of the first season is they're hunting Dracula. So, um, up with this cowboy guy, but hunting Dracula is the main feature.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, I knew he was a werewolf at the beginning of episode 2 because I've seen too many werewolves.
Curious about this, but you're just going, this dude is a werewolf. Hello.
Yeah, I knew instantly, but fireworks factory because we have a different fireworks factory that's about fighting Dracula to start.
I could do that.
Yeah.
That's just as good as fireworks. To more Moon Knight. I don't know if you watched that.
No, the House of Mouse.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And especially MCU stuff because
Yeah,
I'm so bored of superheroes.
that's fair. Lane is a big fan of the supernatural side of the MCU, or at least of the Marvel comics back in the day. So
Mhm.
I watched it for that reason, but I was surprised at how fun I found it. I really like storylines where you are like one of my favorite game things is that like you have been dumped into a thing that you do not remember, and now you've got to try to figure it out. I love Disco Elysium for that. It's like
Mhm.
a whole bunch of shit happened. It was you, sort it out. I like that as a narrative trope. And that's what the whole first episode of Moon Knight was like, there's some stuff going on, you don't know what it is, figure it out. I was like, good, this is one of my favorite tropes. I could read a lot of fics like this.
What is the plot of Moon Knight? Because I'm probably not going to watch it, so
Yeah,
spoil
yeah.
away.
Okay, I won't spoil too much, but like basically conceptually, I'm surprised at how shitty the original Marvel comic was. Because it was basically like, Egypt is mystical and has magic, right? So let's do
Yeah.
like a magic character from Egypt who's basically Batman, and we're not going to do very much with him being weird and magical. That's just to explain why he is the way he is. Mostly, he's just Batman in modern day New York or wherever he was running around at the time. And he's got multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder. Back in the day, they were all like, "It's that's the mysterious thing about him," but um, and so he's actually like three different people in one, or three different personalities that
And
all
one is
interact.
Tuxedo Mask.
And one is Tuxedo Mask, and one is Batman, and then one is like a
Uh,
fancy man.
I was going because the Moonlight Knight is his racially insensitive identity when he doesn't know that he's
yes,
Tuxedo Mask in the second season.
yes, yeah. So he's in the main comics, he's basically got like his Batman personality, his Bruce Wayne personality, and then several other personalities. Then this one they're going just with three, and it's like, but they have not done what they normally did, which is like, okay, so his main personality in the comic is the like I'm a super mercenary, I'm a super mercenary detective, and I'm tough. And Batman,
He's
definitely not
Batman.
Batman, definitely not Batman though. But I'm basically Batman. Um, in this one, they've gone, what if the main personality that we're introduced to is just a guy. He's just a guy that works at a gift shop. He doesn't know any of this is going on. He's really confused. He's British, painfully British, and he's just trying to live his life. And weird shit keeps happening to him, and he can't find out why, except it's him doing it. Uh,
Is this the one Kit Harrington's playing, or is that a different character?
no, it's a different character. This is
Okay.
Oscar Isaac.
Okay.
And so he's starting to find all these things about his life that are not adding up, and he realizes that there's some things going on in his head that are weird. And also, he's being stalked by a mummy.
Okay.
So they're going real hard with the supernatural stuff in here, which is cool.
That's good.
And the mummy hates him. It's like, oh, the idiot's back in charge. Somebody else get into his head and take over, please.
I've not been paying attention to my chat, and Kevin popped in to say, "Why can't the popular ship in My Hero Academia be the kids in their homework?"
Good.
uh, and then Dry Water is like, that is a hilarious observation. The reveal being spoiled by the frickin' title. Yeah. So anyway, mummies
Freaking
are attacking him or after him in Moon Knight.
yeah. And
Um,
because there's like a bad mummy, and then no, I was gonna say a good mummy. He's not a good mummy. He's just the one that this guy serves.
okay. Huh. So like,
So there's the crocodile-headed mummy who's like eater of souls, wearer of sins. That's not the guy he serves. He serves this like big bird head dude.
so he serves Topt.
I don't think they actually called him Toff.
Okay.
Somebody else.
Because the alligator guy is also a guy who,
Yeah. Sobek.
yeah.
All right. Also, there was a good fight scene with a Anubis werewolf.
Good. Kevin, if you're still in the chat, can you ban not rated for me?
Blah.
I just have a spammer.
I was wondering why somebody was getting banned.
Thank you, Kevin. But yeah, so like, I think like when Marvel does dig into like supernatural stuff, like it gets interesting. Like Magic's whole like mini series I thought was interesting. When she's in another dimension and um getting like demon lessons.
Yes.
And then like sometimes like the shit that Thor fights is interesting because of supernatural nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like the MCU frequently doesn't lean into
No.
what makes each hero unique a lot
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
Um, so I kind of wished like Thor went more into nonsense, which it did when Taika Waititi was in charge. So I might watch
That's
Love and
cause
Thunder.
that's cause Taika Waititi is like,
He's
I know
great.
how to do nonsense. Give me a
Yeah.
bunch of idiots and I will make them run around and it'll be
Um
very entertaining.
and so like I watched like the beginning I watched the first Doctor Strange movie when
Mm,
it was on Netflix.
yeah.
And I think that was the last MCU movie I watched.
Gotcha.
It was either that or Ant-Man.
Mm,
And like Ant-Man, I felt it was frustrating because it was like the first two-thirds were almost what I wanted.
it's like a fun
Like
heist movie.
yeah, because I could see what was left of Edgar Wright
Mm-hmm.
in those first two.
Yeah.
Um, but obviously it got toned down. Like really, I want like more. I want a heist movie that's more Edgar Wrighty. Was what I
Mm-hmm.
wanted from Ant Man. Um,
That's kind of how it had been
and
billed, and then like most MCU movies, it then went to like, okay, we did the genre portion of the evening. Now we are going straight to superheroes punching.
but they didn't even lean into the genre portion all that much.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. Um. So yeah. So I just want like them to lean into shit more. Like I did like
Mm-hmm.
the end of Doctor Strange
Yeah.
a lot. Um I was kind of so about the rest of the movie, but I did
Yeah.
really like the end.
I
Um
think the next one's they're gonna lean into the weird magic shit real hard.
See they say that though and then they always like
Kind of
pull
half-ass it.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I the only Marvel comics I read back in the day. Okay, so when I was a kid, I would go to the comic store because I'm like, I like comics, and then all of the comics would have big busty ladies on the front, and I was like, this makes me uncomfortable. And then I found manga, and I read the hell out of everything Rumiko
Yeah.
Takahashi ever made, and a bunch of other stuff. So I would still go to the comic store to get my manga. Um, but while I was there, I discovered that there was a Marvel property that I really enjoyed, which was Excalibur, because it was the like
Yeah, that's the
fun.
goofy X-Men
It's the
one where
goofy
they're
X-Men
time
one
traveling
where
and they're
Nightcrawler
going.
is basically just a swashbuckler, and it's very fun, and he gets to crack jokes with Kitty Pryde, and it's fun, and there's like weird Avalon stuff. It was like, what if all of the fun parts from the Gargoyles, but with these X-Men characters that you also know from Saturday morning cartoons? And I was like, I like that. I do want to watch that, or I do want to read that. So I loved Excalibur, and that's where they put a lot of that weird magic shit.
Um so the other thing so this is my experience with X-Men. Um is I apparently read superhero comics in according to Jay Edidin, who is an official X-Men expert, was the worst time to read comics.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like I officially read comics at their worst.
Yep.
Um and which was the early 2000s. Basically the X-Men movie came out and I started to
Oh,
read
oh,
X-Men.
oh, yeah. Oh, that's a bad time to jump
Um
in.
yeah, but so the thing is because of this I hate Kitty Pryde
Mm. Because you
because
got shitty Kitty Pride. You got shitty
well,
pride.
because the period of time that Kitty Pryde during that period of time, all of the people who grew up with Kitty and had a crush on her
Yes.
were now writing X-Men.
And trying to ship her with
So
everything.
well, it's not just that, but it became like the whenever she showed up, it was like Kitty Pryde is just the greatest. Let's talk about how great Kitty Pryde is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like she's a super genius ninja, and she can do this and she can do that, and like I just did not give a fuck.
No,
Um,
no. See, my Kitty Pride, Kitty that I loved, was
She's a
just
nerd.
chilling. She's a nerd. She had a cool psychic dragon friend, and she fell into Avalon and was like, "Fuck yes, this is
I mean,
great."
she still had her dragon
Yeah,
friend when I
Lockheed.
was reading it.
Yeah,
It's just that just added to her being a Mary Sue.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just so
yeah.
cool. She has a dragon friend, and
This was
she
more sort of like,
basically,
look, she's in Avalon anyway, and they're fucking around doing all this crazy magic shit. Of course, she's got a dragon friend. Come on,
yeah.
they're gonna do
Whereas,
some
like when
fun
I was
shit.
reading it, like if it turned out that she was a secret Targaryen, I would not have been surprised.
Yeah, yeah. She's actually half
Uh,
dragon, and that's why the dragons love her so much. No, no, because like they did some weird shit during that period. That was also where they were like, so let's take Nightcrawler, this fun
and
character,
his dad's the devil.
and his dad's the devil, but he's a wisecracker and he's got cool powers, and let's make him depressed and a priest. What if he's a depressed priest? And I was like,
Yeah,
my boy Kurt
no.
is like a swashbuckler who cracks jokes while punching undead in the face. And you're gonna make him a sad priest? Hell no.
See, fortunately, I had X-Men Evolution to give me funny Kurt, so
Yes.
my
Good funny Kurt.
Nightcrawler did not get tainted too much
Good, good, good.
um by the awful Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler,
Um
the best.
my favorite's still Gambit
There are
because
there
he's
are
a
two
sleaze
kinds
bag.
of fans. There are two kind of femme X-Men fans.
The ones
there's
that
the
like
Gambits
Nightcrawler
and
and
there's
the
the one
ones
that
that
like
like
Nightcrawler.
Gambit.
Yes, correct.
Uh
We've established this in
uh
previous casts.
I was talking I forget if I told you this, but one Rose City I was talking to comic writer James Almus, who he wrote a Gambit miniseries, and I mentioned that Gambit was my favorite. Um, and he then told me about when he got hired to write the Gambit miniseries. Um, he was working at like a community theater.
Yeah.
And he told all the ladies that he were part of the theater group that he was going to write Gambit, and he did not know this until he said that. Then they were all like, "Oh, Gambit, you say?"
Yes.
And then he immediately called up the artist and said, "So we need to put some beefcake in this
Yeah, we need
series
to make this man
because
sexy.
yeah." Um,
Ladies
apparent
love him.
um But stuff that was good around the time I was reading X-Men is I did really like Grant Morrison's whole thing. Like I wasn't big on the art, but I liked his whole thing where there's now a bunch more mutants, like
Yeah.
more than the
And they're
X-Men could,
interesting and they have cool designs.
and they're like trying to make like a culture.
Yeah.
Um
The whole like Genosha.
um and so I liked all like that stuff. I like Emma Frost a lot.
I've never been into Emma
Um
Frost. I think she's like she wasn't really in a lot of my favorite runs of well, she wasn't in Excalibur much anyway when I was reading it. But also, I don't know much about her. She's just the
so
sexy one with the white costume.
okay, so Emma Frost, at the time that you started reading, if you were reading New Mutants at the same time, she was in charge of like the rival school.
Yeah. I was not reading New
Um,
Mutants at that time, but I was vaguely aware of
my
that.
headphones just died, so I can't hear you, and it will be a second while I change headphones.
Cool. Yeah, I mostly just read Excalibur. I tried reading the main X-Men series, but like you had, that was the point in time where uh, to follow the series at all, you had
Okay.
to read all of the Wolverine shit, and there was a lot of Wolverine shit at that time because it was the late 90s. So I did not follow the rest of the X-Men, but you can follow Excalibur.
Okay, I'm back.
Cool.
And can hear you again. So yeah, so basically if you read New Mutants, she was in charge of the like rival school.
Yep.
Um and but the reason why she was really well done in the era that I started reading is Grant Morrison basically gave her a second power because he liked her personality.
Oh, interesting.
Um, like he wanted her on the team for personality dynamic reasons.
Yeah.
Um, and then was disappointed that she was yet another telepath. So
Yup.
then he added like, well, now there's secondary mutations and she can turn to diamond.
Right,
Um,
right.
so her
Previously,
whole
only
thing,
penance could do that.
um, her whole thing, Shauna McGuire once summed her up as there's a line in Into the Woods
Yep.
where the witch says, "I'm not good, I'm not nice, I'm just right."
Nice.
And that's a very Emma Frost statement.
Good.
And a real crime of bad marketing on Marvel's point is also at the time that I started reading, there was an Emma Frost miniseries that was supposed to be like her as a teen and how she got to where she is and like what made her so sort of ruthless.
Right.
Um and they were actually really good comics. It was about her like she has a really wealthy New England family and they were sending her to like a prestigious finishing boarding school. um and she like when she first gets her powers, she's like trying to use them to like get back her dad who wanted to like send her gay brother to conversion therapy because he was quote unquote embarrassing the family for being gay.
Right.
um and so like they were really interesting, but they didn't sell well because
'Cause the
all
gay.
of the covers
Oh,
were
no.
these gross Pam Anderson
Oh, no.
like they were traces of Pam Anderson basically.
Right.
Like they were Emma Frost in this
Was
the
it that it
costume
was
that
it
you
what the hell is that guy's name who just traced porn all the time?
it wasn't Greg Land. It
Okay, it
wasn't
wasn't Greg
someone who
Land.
was blatantly tracing. It was
Gotcha.
someone who was at least like competent at drawing.
But was
But
just drawing
like
like Pam Anderson.
it was like this looks like it belongs on like Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Gotcha.
Like and like while the content was an interesting like teen girl drama, like so the people
No,
picking it
nobody
up
interested in that is going to pick up
because
this porno mag.
yeah, and then the people who were going to pick it up like because of that cover aren't going to care about the teen girl drama.
Nope.
Because it's stuff like um she really likes her teacher,
Right.
um and she has a crush on him, and then because she can read minds she sees that he does think that she's attractive, but because he's not a creep he doesn't make a move on
Yeah,
her.
'cause he's her
uh
teacher. God, that's
because
weird.
he's her teacher, yeah,
Don't
like
do
that's
that.
like so she reading his mind thinks that it's okay to make a move on him, and he's like no.
I'm your
um
teacher. Please don't.
yeah, basically he is a decent person and tells her why like no, like
Good.
uh so it's her learning like people's stray thoughts do not necessarily mean they want to act on it. um which I think is a really good like lesson to show through a telepath.
Yep. You really
And
got into some telepaths, man. They like them telepaths.
yeah. um I mean they're handy to have on a team, it's just that
Yep.
there's too many of them.
And they all do the same thing.
So
There's
yeah,
no like variation.
yeah. So Grant Morrison like in an interview thought like she was really interesting and had a great interesting like personality dynamic cuz she's kind of like meaner and more direct than the rest of the X-Men. Um but
Because I
then
know
it's
she
like
ended
oh
up
she's
running the
yet another
school.
telepath.
Yeah, when like Xavier was gone for a while, or dead or something.
Mhm. So yeah, so it's like um I think like she's also a better pair for Cyclops
Scott.
than
Yeah.
Jean. But I hate Jean.
Yeah. I also kind of hate Scott. He's just a generic
See, I
bland.
thought that I
He's a
hated
bland man.
Scott until I thought that I hated Scott until he started to date Emma,
Emma, good.
and Jean was dead, and that made me realize it was Jean like sucking all the energy out of the room.
Gotcha.
Um,
Yeah, and in all of
uh,
the bits that he was in that I also read, he was just the most bland character. He was like, I am here to be the leader, and the straight man,
well, see, this is the thing.
and
This
say
gets
no to
back to
Wolverine.
like I like the guys who want to do the organizational lists
Right,
and
right.
whatnot. Um, and like basically when he was dating Emma, it's it became clear that he understands being a superhero.
Mm.
He doesn't understand interacting with humans.
Oh, good, good.
Which makes sense because he's been a superhero since he was 15.
Yeah, he's not.
Uh,
He's
he
not great at real life.
he went from foster care to joining a paramilitary organization as a teenager.
Good, good. He's
He does
not
not
good
have the
at
best
the
people
human,
skills.
the human part of this
Yeah.
equation. Good old awkward Scott.
Uh, also being friends with Jay, he's Jay's favorite, so
Mm.
that's also probably Jay showing me the good bits
The
of
good bits of
Cyclops.
Scott Summers.
And those bits are not in the animated series from the
No,
90s.
yeah, or he was not in Excalibur much.
Yeah. The best way to sum up how boring Cyclops is in the 90s animated series is everyone goes to the mall in the first episode and
Yeah,
he is told to wait in the car. So even when they're having like a fun trip, his job
he's
is to sit
yes,
in the car.
he's like good, good. God, that
Um
'90s X-Men Evolution had some very '90s, but also very good character designs.
no, X-Men Evolution had some very early 2000s character designs.
Yeah,
The 90s cartoon had some very 90s
that's
character
true.
designs.
That's true.
Do you know that a lot of the character designs were traced teen actors?
Really, I mean that makes sense. They were
Um,
very recognizably
uh,
people
N-
in a way that most comic
Nightcrawler
characters aren't.
is they cartooned Seth Green's face. Um,
Good.
then uh, Jean, they traced Charisma Carpenter's face.
Oh God,
Which
yeah,
is
they
why
did.
she looks way too old to be in high school
Yeah,
because Charisma Carpenter was older than the rest of the cast of Buffy.
yeah. Wasn't she like
Um,
almost 30?
um, Xander was past
Yes.
30, and I
Yes.
think she was like, cause like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Allison Hannigan were like early 20s,
Yeah.
and then Charisma Carpenter was mid 20s,
Gotcha.
and then Xander was 30.
Yeah, and he looks it. There's certain
He
scenes
looks
in which he can pull it off, and then other scenes where you're just like, what is this man doing here?
I was talking to someone about how occasionally casting an adult that looks that old really hurts your storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And Xander being 30 or older, um, it works more or less while they're in high school because you are constantly getting reminded that they are in high school as they go to class.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting like textual story reminders of how old
You
they
also
are.
see him with like his school bag and
Yeah,
yeah,
but then you get to once they all aren't in high school anymore, it
yeah.
makes a lot of the way he treats Anya extra shitty
Mm-hmm.
because you're not getting reminded that he
He's
is
like 20.
21, 22,
Yeah. You're like,
because
there's an
he
actual
looks
man
40.
acting like this child.
Um, and I think that that also is a reason why a lot of people are too hard on Faith.
Mm.
because Faith is not going to school and reminding everyone that she is the same age as the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
Um, so you forget that Faith is also 16, 17.
Yeah.
Um, and then the fact that she lives alone also helps you forget that she's 16, 17. Um, and there's stuff like in her first episode where she's implying that she will offer sex in exchange for being late on her rent to a
Oof.
guy. Um, and she's 16,
Yeah,
and that's horrifying,
that's a
but
problem.
people don't realize how horrifying it is because
Yeah.
Elijah Dushku does not look 16.
Yes.
Um, and also like the few times you get reminded that she's a kid is when the mayor gets her an apartment. Um,
Mm.
he tells her that he bought her a PlayStation, and she jumps on the bed and
Right.
like it's like, oh yeah, she's a child.
Right. She's, despite all appearances.
She is a child, and a child who is homeless, and no one offered her a home except for the villain, and you wonder why she went evil.
Uh-huh.
It also makes me think of stuff like in Batman Returns,
Mm.
Chris O'Donnell, who plays Robin,
Yes.
is put in the custody of Bruce Wayne because
Yes.
he's not old enough to take care of himself.
And you're like,
But he's Chris O'Donnell and
this
he
entire man
drives
is
a
here.
motorcycle and he
Yes.
is very clearly like 30 or
30.
40.
Yes. I'm not buying this
Uh
as a
I'm not
child,
I'm
as a
not buying that
dependent
he is
child.
not a legal adult who can't just hop on his motorcycle and do whatever the hell he wants.
Yes. Why is this man playing a like 16-year-old? Not even 16-year-old.
Uh, I saw a very good joke online where someone was talking about they're casting a wide net to find out who should play Nightwing. And
Ooh,
someone
right.
replied with, well, if they had done that with his parents, he wouldn't be in this situation.
Good. Good. Oh, night, Kevin. Oh man, yeah, that 90s
Right.
theme song was freaking awesome. I have found some amazing metal covers of it. It's so good.
It's that good shit.
That's a good shit. I remember the character designs to X-Men Evolution were one of the things that I'd printed out and would like practice drawing when I was in animation school.
Oh, that is. I also like use them to practice drawing.
Yeah, I had the expression sheets,
I believe
everything.
that is also the case for Corey Bing as well.
Yep. Oh yeah. Corey and I have had long conversations about 90s or not 90s, the X-Men Evolution Nightcrawler.
Mm-hmm. He good.
He good. He good. His little
He
face,
good. He's
so
Seth
good.
Green.
And whether or not
I mean, Seth
the
Green was a good pick for
super good.
yeah, for Nightcrawler. Oh, also, so there's the scene where Kitty and Rogue are dancing in an episode,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically rotoscoped Buffy and Faith dancing.
Yes. Yes. I know exactly what scene you mean.
Yes.
On both sides,
Oh,
on both
both
accounts.
shows,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I remember watching it and being
um,
like, this is familiar.
um, but yeah, I forget like the article that pointed out every single actor that like they traced the face of to make the character designs.
Good.
I think like Cyclops, he was some guy on like Dawson's Creek, like
Oh, of
not James
course.
Vanderbeek, but like
Yeah.
another guy.
Yeah, yeah. God, Dawson's Creek. That's a name I
That's a
haven't heard
show that
in
existed.
ages.
That's a show that existed.
It's definitely a show that existed. It was not one that I watched, but it was, boy, the
I
talk
didn't
of
watch it either.
my friend
I
group.
can't. The only thing I know about it is apparently a character's dad died because of spilt ice cream in it. Um,
Good.
and I know that that happened in Dawson's Creek because the Clone High guys mentioned it in an
Oh, good.
interview.
Oh, good.
Um, because the Clone High guys they were doing an interview about I think the Lego movie,
Okay.
and they were like, yeah, our entire goal is to get famous enough that we can bring Clone High back.
Yeah.
Um, and then they in the interview where they're supposed to be promoting the Lego movie, they veer off into talking about Clone High. Um,
Good.
and then they start talking about how in Clone High, there's an episode where a character is killed by litter.
Right.
Like the wind blows and he gets a bunch of paper cuts, and then like something gets in his throat and he starts choking. Um, and they said what inspired that is a character on Dawson's Creek. His dad died because of dropping his ice cream. And they're like, "We're serious. This is what happened." Um, and the
He
interview
just
included a
died.
clip of like they found the clip, and what it is like he drops the ice cream in his lap, and then he's like distracted and trying to wipe it off his crotch, and then like accidentally swerves into oncoming traffic and gets killed. Like,
Great.
um,
Good.
so, but the fact
Don't eat ice
remains
cream
that
in the
he
car,
died because of
kids, I
spilt ice
guess.
cream.
Man.
Um,
Clone
and yeah,
High. I remember a road
Clone
trip
High.
where we were watching Clone High on somebody's laptop the entire way from Saskatoon to Edmonton. It was very good.
It's a good show. I have reservations about rebooting it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of the jokes come from like making fun of teen stuff from that very specific era.
Yup.
Um,
And I don't know that it would
and
hold up.
so like they would either like if they try to continue to do that, the jokes won't work as well because it won't be as those shows won't be as fresh in people's memories.
Yeah.
Um, or so that means, or the other thing they could do is they could try to make fun of current teen shows,
Mm-hmm.
but those are so like I don't know, I feel like intentionally ridiculous that it would be
Yes.
hard to parody them.
Yeah.
Like, how do you parody the fact that Riverdale is on their fifth serial killer?
Yes.
Their fifth serial killer and their third cult.
Yeah. God,
Um,
I gotta have cults.
so yeah, I don't know like how to do where the parody line would be.
Mm-hmm. All right. There, I think, is a nice little expression sheet for this character.
Cool.
Trying to get my designs locked down for this project by the end of April. And then we can actually start production once the manuscript's finalized in May. So that's cool.
Cool.
Looking forward to that.
That's good.
I'll save this. And then I think I am done for the night. My hand is getting sore.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. And thanks for coming to both of our streams.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed me talking about werewolves spoiling their own mystery.
Hell yes. Hope
And
you enjoyed us
all the other
reminiscing about various eras of Buffy and X-Men.
X-Men.
Those
All
X-Mans.
X-Men all the time.
Hell yeah.
X-Mans. All right. Everyone, you have a good night.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Later.
Later.